After the conquest of Constantinople, the Ottoman Empire stood at the height of its power. Sultan Mehmed II was no longer the young, ambitious boy who once dreamed of empire. He was a seasoned ruler, aware that true power required not only swords but strategy, foresight, and the courage to make impossible decisions. The air of triumph was heavy, yet fragile. Peace was only temporary. To the north, a new shadow stirred. Vlad Tepes, known as Dracula, ruled Wallachia with fear and brutality. He refused tribute to the Sultan, openly defied the Ottoman Empire, and had even killed an envoy sent to his court. His reputation for cruelty was well known, and whispers of his methods, impalement, psychological terror, and cunning warfare, reached Mehmed's ears long before his army set foot on Wallachian soil. Mehmed called his generals together under the canvas of his tent. The torchlight flickered across their faces, reflecting the gravity of the moment. "I cannot allow my empire to be humiliated," he said, voice steady but cold. "Vlad Tepes must understand that power has a name, and it belongs to the Sultan of the Ottomans." The generals nodded, their eyes reflecting both fear and awe. Outside, the camp stirred, soldiers sharpening blades, inspecting armor, preparing for the march that would test them to their limits. Mehmed knew that force alone would not win this war. He summoned Maria, a skilled diplomat known for her courage and wit. "You will travel to King Matthias Corvinus of Hungary," he instructed her. "Secure an alliance or at least ensure neutrality. Our swords cannot cut every thread at once. The fate of this campaign may rest upon your words." Maria bowed, her expression composed yet determined. "I will do everything in my power, Your Highness." In Wallachia, Vlad learned of Maria's mission and allowed himself a cold, calculating smile. He understood that battles were not only fought with armies but with fear, deception, and psychological cunning. Every forest, river, and hill became a weapon in his hands. Meanwhile, Mehmed's army approached the Danube, a formidable barrier that marked the entrance into enemy territory. The river was wide and tumultuous, bending ferries and wagons under its current. Soldiers hesitated at the edge, their hearts pounding with anticipation. "They know this land better than we do," a young commander warned. Mehmed's gaze swept over the horizon. "Then we will show that strategy and discipline outweigh familiarity with the terrain," he said calmly, though inside, his mind raced with calculations and contingencies. Vlad avoided open battle, instead launching guerrilla attacks, striking from the shadows, and disappearing before a counterattack could reach him. The Ottomans suffered casualties and exhaustion, yet Mehmed's composure never faltered. "Patience, discipline, precision," he whispered to himself as he studied the maps and scouts' reports. "This is how empires are won." As the Ottoman forces pressed deeper into Wallachia, Vlad escalated his cruelty. Entire villages were left impaled on stakes as warnings, a gruesome spectacle designed to sap morale. Soldiers paused, staring in horror at the rows of bodies, and whispered prayers under their breath. Mehmed, observing silently, spoke softly. "Fear alone is not invincible. We overcome it with resolve and unity." Finally, Mehmed planned a night attack, hoping to catch Vlad's forces unprepared. But the campaign's dangers were never far. A spy in the Sultan's ranks threatened to betray their plans. The darkness of night became both ally and enemy, and when the clash came, it was a chaotic whirlwind of steel, screams, and strategy tested to its limit. Yet discipline held. The Ottomans repelled Vlad's counterattack, forcing him to retreat into the forests and mountains. When the Ottoman army reached Targoviste, Vlad's abandoned capital, they found the horrifying evidence of his reign. Impaled bodies lined the city outskirts, reminders of the terror he had sown. Mehmed stood silently, eyes lowered in solemn prayer, honoring those who had fallen along the way. In the climactic confrontation, Mehmed faced Vlad directly. The fight was intense, fierce, and merciless, each man testing the other's resolve. Vlad's cunning and ferocity were formidable, yet the organization, training, and sheer willpower of the Ottoman forces prevailed. Vlad was forced to flee, his power broken, while the Ottoman Empire, though weary and tested, emerged stronger than ever. Mehmed surveyed the battlefield, the weight of both victory and loss pressing upon him. True victory is not won with swords alone, he reflected. It is won with foresight, patience, and the courage to make the hard decisions.